Eddie Rama spoke at the recent protest during a meeting on property reform, calling it a political stunt before stating that it is impossible to intervene in the law on property legalization. The University of Tirana has received a positive assessment from the Quality Assurance Agency in Higher Education for the next 4 years as a result of staffing improvements. The action of Clean Up Albania occurred across the country today as an environment minister announced the landfill at Porto Romano will be closed next year. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Friday, the 23rd of November, 2018. Welcome to the English edition of War News. My name is Oliver, and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. 15 officers were left injured by Thursday's protest in front of Parliament's headquarters, some of whom were women. Their presence in ensuring progress and maintenance among the crowds of protesters in problematic situations was set in 2013. After the election's victory in June of this year, Eddie Rama decided to remove the siege with railing from the Prime Ministry building and to remove the wall near the government building. At that time, the majority would declare that the headquarters of the ministers had no reason to be guarded. This statement comes after the events of January 21st, 2011, where 4 protesters lost their lives. The first confrontation with opposition protest was in February of 2014, but unlike ensuring the maintenance of the crowds, Rama set in front female officers to confront the protesters. Demonstrations against the government at that time went without any incident of violence, but the same situation would be repeated again in March 2015 protests. The first clash was marked on the 8th of December of last year, where the opposition culminated near the bunker at the Interior Ministry. It seems that the officers were unprepared as the building was in flames, but was able to resist the shocks and fire. However, following the January 21st events, officers wear normal uniforms, are not equipped with firearms, but are supplied with anti-gas masks. Prime Minister Eddie Rama has spoken again about the construction of the Outer Ring Road from Librovša of Fier. Considering it to be a conflict for political ends, he explained that it is impossible to intervene in the law to legalize premises affected by the project. The process of legalization has been closed, but there are buildings that the law stops from being legalized. It is important to intervene in the code of law to legalize the area of the former station, which belongs to the entire community, or to legalize a garden which should be returned to the community. But I do have consideration for these people. That is why we offer those affected and left without shelter with rental assistance. I cannot legalize you in the areas where you have occupied common space or where there are plans to build kindergartens, schools, or roads, expressed Rama. You cannot coerce the state to legalize your illegal dwellings and to give money as if you were the owner, because it means that all other citizens have to pay and work for years to pay the taxes for those who have illegitimate properties. Many citizens in Albania do not have their own home. They pay their rent when it's due with their own incomes. Yet at the same time, they will be assisted through taxes to cover the rent for these citizens who do not legally own their home they have built for themselves for a period of 3 years. This problematic situation that has been around for a long time has increasingly been mired in lies, slander, and misinformation. The destruction of illegal properties started at Rania Park, then Lana, and now has grown throughout all of Albania. Every municipality has had to demolish certain areas, but this is the first time the opposition has protested for something prohibited by law. The reason for the protests are occurring today is not to protect homes, but to protect political interests, concluded Rama. Tirana University is accredited by the Quality Assurance Agency in Higher Education in all branches for a 4-year period. After this periodic process, the quality at the University of Tirana was deemed positive, while the Dean, Professor Munir Koni, is considering this a watershed moment. The Dean's estimation is related to the teaching activity in scientific conferences organized by the University of Tirana. In this context, the International Conference on Biotechnology was held in the Academy of Sciences. The International Conference of Informatics will be held in the coming days in Tirana. According to Professor Koni, one of the most important standards to be upheld is scientific research. At the start of the campaign to clean up Albania, Environment Minister Blendi Klosi said the closure of the Porto Romano landfill is one of the priorities in the fight against pollution. The final solution of this environmental wreck in Durrës has brought together local authorities and the government, so Mayor Vanjush Dako is convinced that in the next year, instead of fertilizers, there will be greenery. The action Clean Up Albania in One Day brings together organizations, ministries, and local institutions. However, pollution remains a problem for many areas, both in the north and south of Albania. Although the warm weather remained, there was a significant decline in the number of foreign tourists during October. Insta data shows that in October of 2018, the number of foreign nationals entering the country was 337,603, down by 11% compared to the previous year. Despite the expansion of the season, Albania has not managed to absorb tourists during the fall season. If we make a comparison of foreign visitors to other countries, we notice that Switzerland has seen the largest increase, estimated at 134.5%. Kosovars visiting Albania represent a significant decrease during October. Compared to a year ago, 15,000 Kosovar citizens have entered the country. However, Instadata does not depict the same trends regarding Albanians traveling abroad. The number of Albanian nationals leaving the Albanian territory during October increased by 9.6% compared to the same period of the previous year. The protest in front of Parliament, where 15 police officers were injured, has attracted the attention of the mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj. In the launching of the annual cleaning action of the city, he emphasized that the capital needs more kindness and peace. We have seen many conflicts these days. We have seen a policy that wants to divide the city. I believe the city has more kindness than contravention, the city has more love than hate, and the city has more work than violence. He even said that he feels encouraged by the bravery and the injured police officer. I'm very encouraged that the government is dealing with the treatment of her, and all of this gives me courage. It gives me courage that today there are more citizens like Ina who love their country more than those who violate it. Today there are more citizens who purify Tirana than those who pollute it. Today there are many more people who love to work than those who love to produce violence. As long as the good remains within the majority of Albania, I am convinced that the good will triumph and progress, for the city of Tirana will not stop moving forward. The mayor invited all citizens to join in the cleaning project. There is a kind of stigma because it seems to people that it's a task of Enver Hoxha's period, but it should be noted that this initiative has volunteers in Germany, Australia, and America who do this every day, stated Veliaj. Veliaj stressed that the environment is a shared interest and everyone should contribute to keep it clean. And that's the news from across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.